Welcome back to the Own It Show. I'm Heather Lee Chapman, your holistic transformation coach and host. And we are here today talking about it is time to get smart with money. We have special guest Tanya Oliva in the house. She is a founder of FinSmart and is a personal finance educator and expert money coach. I promise you guys, we're bringing on people to help increase your financial intelligence. And I'm so grateful to have a fellow Canadian on this show. So thank you so much for being here with us. Tell us more about yourself.
Well, hello, Heather. It's so wonderful to be on the Own It Empire show today. Thank you for having me. Well, I'm a midlife woman. I'm going to be 57 in July, so I've got quite a bit of experience behind me. And, I all started out with a corporate career in marketing, communications, and, did really well with it, loved it. But I think as a lot of women can relate, I hit the glass ceiling. I wasn't part of the boys club. And I ended up severancing out of like 3 jobs just because I couldn't get advanced any further. And in 2015, I again had a disagreement with my board chair. I had a board that was all male, white, wealthy, and I'm this, they called me a tiger. And it just didn't work out. So I ended up severancing out in 2015. And I said, that's it. I cannot go back to corporate. It was soul destroying. And so I looked at the opportunity to downsize and move to a smaller community, which I did. And it gave me the opportunity to change careers. And I was thinking, now what? I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I wanted to make decisions for myself. I wanted to have impact and purpose. I wanted to enjoy my work. And I then decided to become a financial counselor. And the backstory is that when I was 32, I went through a personal, professional, and financial meltdown. I was going through divorce. I lost my very first corporate job. And it was also the dot-com crash. And I think a lot of your viewers can relate to one or all of those things. A lot of people went through job loss, perhaps divorce, and of course, a recession with the pandemic. Some people are going to go through that now with this, tariff economic situation we have right now. And it does take a significant event in our lives to kind of wake us up to what's real. And for me, it was personal finances because the money was running out. I had bills to pay, and I was now a single woman. And so I decided to help other women who were going through that same transitional experience. And I've been doing this now for 5 years. And I absolutely love what I do because even just a small amount of knowledge can help people change their lives for the better in a very significant way.
Absolutely. And especially when we're talking about even a small amount of knowledge around money and how to get smart with money, or as you like to say, to get fin smart. And this is so important because, guys, it's simply just not taught in school. I put your hands up if you got financial education and anywhere you went, that wasn't specifically something that you went for because it's just not taught. We have to educate ourselves. We have to get smart with money. We're taught to live on a hamster wheel of debt, of owing, and you're not taught how to manage money or how to have your money work for you. And for a lot of people, they trade their time for money. And so the amount of revenue that they can get back in exchange for their time is capped. And that's what I found in my first business. And that's why I transitioned into an online space where I could serve one to many. My impact was limited, my income was limited, and I was turning clients away. And I wanted to be able to serve and expand and scale. And then I realized that that's not enough. It's not how much you earn, it's what you do with what you earn. And my mentor, Bob Proctor, taught me that it doesn't matter if you're in 100,000 or a million, you could still be broke if you don't know how to manage your money.
It's so true.
And so I'm so grateful to have you on the show to help people increase their financial intelligence, to get financially smart, to get fin smart. And this all starts by you guys taking the first step in deciding that you're going to learn more, even a little bit, about financial intelligence, getting financially smart, and just learning about how to own your money. Love it. And so, what would you say on this entrepreneur journey in the last 5 years would be your number one piece of advice that something you learned that you want to share with the other entrepreneurs?
Well, I think it's nothing in life comes easy.
Mm,
It's hard work is not good luck. Getting that client takes effort, it takes commitment, it takes, grit. I love that book Grit because, it's a whole combination of things. So, just establishing this business, I'm breaking into the final taboo. We've mastered physical health, right? Like we've had so much research and information about how to be physically healthy. We've made incredible strides in regards to our mental health and a lot of resources out there. And the stigma, of course, is not there as it was. But the third pillar of our health is our financial health. And
yes.
so I am on the forefront, I think, of breaking down the stigma, the shame, the blame around financial health. It's really integrated with our overall health because when you think that financial stress is one of the number one stressors or it amplifies other stresses in your lives, um, it can affect your mental and physical health if you're not financially healthy. And this is why I'm so passionate because we need to talk about money. There is no shame. There's no blame. We have to leave the past where the past is and move forward in a positive way. And that's why I'm so grateful to have this conversation is to have the conversation, raise our consciousness about our financial health.
Yeah, so let's raise our consciousness about our financial health. And that all starts with learning, right? And so we're here to help you learn a little bit more, one step at a time. And we have 5 great tips for you to help you get smart with your money so you can have your money work for you instead of continuing until the day you die to work for money. So dive in and tell us about your first tip, making your money story work for you.
Thank you for starting us off with that conversation, Heather, because it does start individually. I say personal finance is personal. It's unique to us. And that's another reason why we have to go into our own personal circumstances because everyone has a unique money situation. And it really starts with our money story. It's incredible. There's been a lot of research about, your childhood experiences with money will shape your relationship with money in the future. And I can just say that I was blessed with a positive money story. And that's, how did my mother and my father manage money? How did they make financial decisions? How did they prioritize spending? And how did they spend? All of these things can relate back to your beliefs about money, how you feel about money, and then how you behave. So I would like everyone, to think about early childhood memories regarding money. And in my case, I had a mother who actually was born in an orphanage. So I'm not exactly sure how she became so incredibly financially smart. But one of the things that she shared with me was, some of the other tips that I'm going to talk about, but it relates to why I've been successful with money is because I adopted some very healthy practices from a young age, including earning my way. I remember one of my earliest childhood stories was earning $25 through babysitting and then using that money to go buy a pair of jeans, with my own money, with my own earnings. And it felt so good. And that's why, hard work is not good luck. You're putting in the effort to make your life happen.
And I love that you say hard work is not good luck. They say that anything that is worth it is hard. And I know we want to be like, ooh, manifesting and woohoo, and everything's going to be smooth and easy. And in reality, there has to be something that has you grow so that you can actually like get what you want and then maintain it on the other side. And so anything that's going to be worth it is going to have you go through some form of transformation. And
Yes.
so understanding that that could look hard and that's okay. And it's 100% worth it on the other side. I actually have my sister has an Etsy shop and it's from her shop and it's a beautiful picture of a mountain and it says, the view from the top is always worth the climb. And it's to remind me when I'm like, oh, this
Yeah.
never ends or whatever. I got to study another course or read a book. The view from the top is always worth the climb. So it may not be easy and it's definitely going to be worth it. And we know that before the age of 7, you are almost a blank slate. And the environment that you grow up in, the model of the world you grow up in, creates your programming, just like a
Yeah.
computer. And then from 7 to 14, you go out and test that model of the world. And you start to build your personality. So truly, really, it is a great opportunity to pause and look back at how was money talked about, how was money used, what do you think about money, and start to pay attention to your money story. So that if it's not one you prefer, you could create a new one. And if the results with your money are not what you prefer, chances are that money story isn't great and it's time to rewrite it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can, yeah, and you can rewire the brain for success. Inside our programs, we write self-image scripts to rewrite our script of ourselves. And so writing a new money script or a new money story about how you feel about money, what you think about money, what's your relationship to money, it could really start to rewire your brain so that you can change your behavior with money.
Yeah. Identifying the things that support you, serve you, or not, it's going to be that first step towards change. So that's why, going back and just asking yourselves those very basic questions and saying, does it serve me? And if not, how can I change it? And again, there's so many resources online that you can start to research this for yourself. But yeah, I love that we're talking about the money story because we all have one and it's unique to us.
Yeah, and I laugh because change isn't easy, guys. That's simply the truth. And I love to help people transform their habits because your unconscious beliefs come out in your habits. So change your habits, change your beliefs, change your life.
Mhm.
And it's one of the hardest things to do. So it is going to require probably accountability. And that's where an expert like Tanya comes in because often left to our own devices, it's not the best. Even in the book Profit First, he talks about putting your money into an account where you can't access it right now, where our unconscious mind's like, oh, we want it now, let's get it. Where you would have to go, oh, but I can't access the money for a few days. So is it actually going to move me towards my goal, or was that an impulse purchase? And
Well, that's
trying to
an
help
excellent,
yourself.
yeah, and that's an excellent segue into my second tip, which is to use your money with intention.
Of it.
Having a framework around how you're going to use your money. And it's for me, it's a three-level framework. You have, first of all, your values. What's most important to you and
Mm.
your life? Thinking about is it security? Is it prestige, family, health? Again, coming down to the most important things to you. What are your values that drive your life? So knowing your values, being very clear on your values. The second thing is to be very clear on your goals, your personal, professional, lifestyle, and financial goals. What do you want to accomplish in the next 2 years, 5 years, or longer? So knowing your short, medium, and long-term goals. And it doesn't have to be 10, like one or two for each, right? So being clear on your values, being clear on your goals. And the third one, which is really important for me, is your life vision. How do you want to live your life? What does it look like? I really believe in manifestation. I really believe in having, something that excites you every morning as to why you get up and yeah, put in the hours of work and serve others. It's to support your life vision. And so when you know your values, your goals, and your life vision, and you align how you use money with all of those things, you will live your best life. And again, it's your life. It's not your neighbors. It's not your best friends. It's not the person on Instagram. It's your life. So using your money with intention will give you life satisfaction.
Yeah, and I love that and customizing it to you and what's in alignment with the life that you desire, not what society's teaching you or an influencer online.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. I had two different coaches at one time, and one, she lives a beautiful lifestyle, but she's not flashy at all. And she's an eight-figure coach. And I have another one who's a multimillionaire and loves the flash. Like, here's my Tesla, here's my $10,000 purse. And that's cool. There's absolutely no make wrong. I'm just saying they have different values. And they make and they earn money, because we can't make it, as Bob would say, or you're a thief because you can't print it. So we earn money. It's an energy exchange, right? And it has to align with our values. And there's nothing good, bad, or right or wrong except for what you make it. And so you
Exactly.
want to know what your values are and how you want that money to work for you. And honestly, guys, without goals, we are wandering aimlessly. The goal is what has you create the containers, do the saving, choose to save over the impulse spending. Same with a diet. It has you choose the carrot over the cake. It's the goals. Goals will change your life. And in order to have goals, you must have a vision, a long-term vision of what it is that you want. And so I love that those are your three key tips in that part, because without those in any aspect of our life, we truly are kind of wandering aimlessly and living by default. So let's
Yes,
not have
yes,
our
yes.
money by
Life
default.
by design, not default. That's how you get there.
And that requires money and also financial
Exactly. It's
money.
this, yeah, exactly.
I love it. Okay, well, let's dive in to tip number 3 so that people can start to have their money truly work for them and get out of that trade your time for money model. And I just want to say this, I still remember the first time I was introduced to the concept that I was trading my time for money, even in my first business. And instead to build multiple streams of income, or to build passive income by simply investing the money. My mind blew up, because I knew my lifestyle was capped, because I had no more time to trade for
Hmm.
any more money. And so this tip, so important. Invest to generate passive income. Tell us more about that.
Yes, exactly that. You only have so much time. And, when you think about money and trading your time for money, that's life energy you're giving up to earn money, right?
Mm.
And we only have so much time. That's one of the greatest equalizers between you and maybe even, Taylor Swift or whatever. We only have 24 hours in a day, 365 days a year. So how we use our time is precious. So when you invest your money, it can earn money. It can
Mm.
generate income, like stocks pay dividends. Real estate can generate rental income. Businesses create other revenue streams. Online sales, of course, generates income 24/7. The key thing, and you mentioned it earlier, is that, and this is from Warren Buffett, who is, the world's most successful investor, which is that if you don't learn to earn money while you sleep, you will have to earn money until the day you die.
Mm.
Now, I agree that, having a purpose in life is important, but being forced to trade your time for money until you actually die is not exactly my life vision. I want to have more freedom to use my time that lives the lifestyle I want. So when you invest your money, you create passive income, and that gets you away from trading your time for money. So the whole thing is you are wealthy when you can buy back your time. And that's where I've gotten in my life. And I could never even think about going back to a 9 to 5. I find I truly believe a 9 to 5 job is bad for our health.
Mm.
And unfortunately, we're consumed by this model that really does not serve us individually or collectively.
No.
But, I want people to know that, the investing world wants to make it complex, and they don't want to be transparent. So this is where becoming your own best financial advisor is really important, because I've seen too many people being taken
Mm.
by high fees, by poor investment choices, by not understanding what they're doing, and they're actually losing money, because most bank employees specifically and other financial advisors are not working with you in your best interest. They're working with you to earn their own money. That's their first driver. Whereas with me as a financial coach, I'm all about working in your best interest.
Yeah, I love that. It's so important, guys, to begin to understand that almost everything, right, is their end goal is profits, right? So a lot of the times when you go and invest with the banks or what have you, their end goal is their profit. We know that the money you invest, they're 10xing it and investing it. If you wanted it right now, it's not available there. You want to go and work with an actual financial coach who wants to sit down and see what your goals are and help you do what's in the highest interest for you, not worried about what products they're going to tell you that they have, right?
Yeah, and let me just say this, Heather, the investing problem has basically been solved. With low cost index funds that are fully diversified, you can buy, all in one exchange traded funds that invest, domestically, internationally, in different asset classes. So it doesn't have to be complicated in terms of the investing and what accounts to use. Financial advisors, really, their value is now in the financial planning, like how you're going to divest of your wealth, how you're going to do estate planning and tax planning. Again, we don't need to be scared of investing. We just need to learn some very basic best practices and go with it, because investing is really a long-term exercise, right? You lock it and leave it. It's not something, you don't need to be a day trader. That's not investing, that's speculating. So people really need to understand the difference between investing and speculating. A lot of what you see online in the internet is really pure speculation. It's all about getting rich quick. Whereas if you are an investor, it's about, again, creating different streams of income, whether it's through, stock purchases, real estate, business income, and letting it, lock in for years and decades. That's where the value comes. It's not in getting rich quick, it's getting rich slowly.
Yeah, and compound over time, day in and day out, it adds up so that you can retire when you are ready to retire and not retire because you have to, and on, they say, at least 40% less of what you've currently lived on. Wouldn't it be amazing to be able to, quote unquote, or never have to retire, do what you want, the way you want, how you want it, and to be able to live off your investments? So to have that long-term vision is so important, not the like, I need it now.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if we want to go on to the fourth tip, because, really, oh, you say to yourself, oh, well, I just don't have the money left over to invest. I don't have enough. That's not a good excuse, because again, you talked about compounding. So we have to make room for it, because you cannot benefit from compound growth unless you start now, unless you start. And so the way that you do that is to manage your money. And we've already identified that most of our decisions are made with our subconscious mind. So with the current digital economy we live in, where click, tap, swipe, is our mode of purchase, there's no way we can do mental accounting. Like, how can you track what's coming in your account, what's going out of your account, especially as an entrepreneur, when you have variable income and different expenses throughout the year? We need a system to manage our money. Now, this is the thing that I implemented 25 years ago when I went through my financial meltdown, and it's changed my life forever. Like, within 15 years of implementing that system, not only did I live within my means and never pay interest on debt again, I was able to build wealth, but also make smart, informed financial decisions, because I was very clear on my cash flow and what was most important to me. I was very clear on what my goals were. I was able to generate wealth just by being prudent and intentional with my money. It doesn't need you to be making more. It makes you, it encourages you to manage what you make in a better, more informed system.
Yeah, I love that. I watched my grandfather build a business and he didn't scale it really big. All he did was earn enough so that they could live a good lifestyle. And they were so diligent with every dollar. Like they never bought name brand things, but they invested in quality things that they valued, right? It was all based on their value system. And my grandfather retired at 50. He'd probably be almost 100 now. He passed away at 92, and my grandmother will be 93 next month. And she's still living off the investments. And well, they gift every family member at every holiday. And my uncle manages her finances now, but that's the magic, right? It will probably be over 60 years, 40, let's say at least 50, if not more, that she's lived off the investments and a good quality of life and can still provide for our large family that we have. There's like 18 of us. And that's the magic when we have a manage our money and we have a system. And that was one thing he was so good at. And he invested his money, he managed it well, and every dollar had a duty. And that is the reason, 50 years of living off investments and a great quality of life, not half of what they did before, often even better.
Yeah, and that's exactly how you can become free of the financial stress, is because you know exactly where you are and you can, you know, provide for your future self. That's what investing does. It provides for your future self. And we all want a future self that is just as good as our present self. Why would we want to see our lifestyle or our quality of life go down as we age? And really, the only way to do that is through investing.
And when I was young, he always used to say, when I was young, like I'm not, when I was younger, he always used to say, "You'll never get wealthy from your wages, Heather." And so I thought he meant you have to have a business. And later I learned he meant the money that you earn, no matter how you earn it, whether it's a job or a business, you need to invest it so that it works for you.
Mhm.
And I know how you talked about a little bit earlier, where people are like, "Oh, well, I have to pay for these expenses first." You really have to choose you first. And I think it's the hardest thing to do. Um, and you have to start, like you said.
Well, and a lot of it comes from that how we are wired as humans, right? Like we have a Neanderthal brain where it was hand to mouth, right? Like hunters and gatherers would go out and eat. You didn't have refrigeration, so you had to eat what you caught immediately. That's why we're hardwired for instant gratification, right? And you couldn't store things of value in the past. Now you can, and of course, this is where you have to rewire your brain for anticipation, not instant gratification, like delayed gratification. And that's, will serve you because, so much of it is an emotional response to our environment as to why you're doing something with your money versus, delaying that purchase for your future self. I always like to say saving is future spending. So you're still, so that's the good thing, spending it just as it comes in is not going to serve your future self.
Yeah, and it might mean making some changes. So you might be a little uncomfortable now to be a lot more comfortable later. And
And that goes
definitely
back
worth
to our
it.
earlier point. Nothing in life is easy. It's hard work. So, we have to all make some, sacrifices in our current situation in order to reap the benefits in the future.
Yeah, and it's worth it. It's worth
We are
it. It's
worth it.
worth
And
it.
especially
Yeah.
women, one of the statistics, Heather, is that the gender wealth gap, and this is real. And then, this is for women of privilege like you and myself, white women. Our gender wealth gap is over $1 million in our lifetime compared to a white man. And again,
Mhm.
lots of that relates to, caregiving responsibilities, lower paying jobs, less inclined, ability to save because of, our time out of the workforce. And it's much higher, for women of color or other minority groups. So we're battling against a gender wealth gap as well. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping women with their finances, because just by implementing some small best practices can really change the trajectory of your ability to build wealth.
Yeah, and I think that also goes a lot back to our story,
Mm,
women's story around money, how that conditioning is ingrained in our unconscious mind. Was in it till the 78 where women could get their own bank account if they were divorced, right? Guys,
yeah,
like 50 years ago, not even. So
yeah,
the law has to do unconsciously. So no make wrong, guys. I say guys, but let me say ladies, women,
yeah,
my ladies in the house, it's time for us to level up and get financially smart. And it's going to
yes.
require us to do it. It's going to require some sacrifices. It's going to be worth the climb. And let's create generational wealth and change our money stories, especially for women across the globe. Because if you can help yourself, you can share that with another and you can change a whole community. I love it.
And
Okay.
that,
So
yeah.
yeah, let's dive into
I was
tip
going to
number
say that,
five. Go for it.
yeah, I mean, that's a perfect segue that in order for us to level up and empower ourselves, we need to do that through knowledge, through awareness, through conscious, intention. And I encourage all of my clients, to increase their financial intelligence and take advantage of all of the free resources there are available to us to learn about personal finance. Personal finance involves so many things, right? Like how we earn money, the different types of income that we talked about, passive versus active income, so they're, learning about what that means. How we spend money, expenses. We have different types of expenses. We have our needs and our wants, luxuries, what have you. Understanding how you spend your money is really important. How you borrow, credit. A lot of people don't even understand how your credit score works, or amortization on your mortgage. These are very simple concepts, really. So my, challenge to everyone listening is that when you have a question about, should I, have a 20-year amortization or a 15-year amortization on my mortgage? Should I invest inside my tax-free savings account, or should I open up a first home savings account? You can Google, you can chat GPT, you can reach out to me as a financial counselor to ask those questions. So don't just kind of, go forward without knowledge and information, because that is what's going to help you make smart, informed financial decisions, which will pay huge dividends for your life, because that knowledge will serve you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and it's so important that you do it with a valuable source, a reputable source,
Yes.
because, like you said, you can make the mistakes, and those could be costly and dangerous as well, too, right? So, guys, increase your financial intelligence first. Then you can, and she's saying there's so many free things out there. She's got an incredible gift for you guys today that you can grab. So tell us about that. And it's just a free resource just for you. And I know you have a course on Udemy. So tell us both about both.
I will. Thank you so much, Heather. So when I work with clients, I promise three things. Okay. I promise you clarity, which is all about financial awareness. Okay. I want you to have a full understanding of your personal finances. And that's going to change and evolve over time. So I first of all want to provide my clients with clarity. The second thing is mastery. I want you to develop, money as a skill. So I want you to have financial preparedness, no matter what's been throwing at you, whether it's a job loss, a divorce, or maybe a raise and you've scaled up and you need to, okay, what do I do? And the third thing, of course, is transformation. I want to help people increase their financial security and their peace of mind. So my gift to all of our listeners today is a signature talk I've given called The Two Most Important Numbers in Personal Finance. Okay. This relates back to clarity and financial awareness. So if you don't know where to start on your financial intelligence journey, this presentation is it, because you're going to learn the two most important personal numbers in personal finance, which will then trigger you to start learning about your personal finances. And that's the first stage to making positive improvement in your financial health.
Yeah, you must identify current state
Yes.
and what your future state is, and then be able to fill the gap.
Exactly. So this will help you get to that financial baseline, your current state. So watch that presentation. And once you've done that, I love the fact that I, added a course to Udemy, and it's really financial smarts. It includes 2 hours on personal finance. The first is what are the top 10 personal finance essentials we all need to know. So that's general best practices relating to how we spend, save, earn money. And then the second presentation is called Investing Smarts. So I'm breaking down some of the key myths and best practices when it comes to investing, so that you can be a better investor and be more informed and be most importantly, empowered to make smart financial decisions.
Yeah, so not only learning how to manage your money that you do have, and what to, I want to say, like, to use it. Use it is the word. We use money, how to use your money, but then also how to invest it in the best practices so that it's now working for you.
Yeah. So these are all foundational knowledges, a knowledge opportunity. So rather than digging through 1,000 hours of blogs or books or podcasts like I have, you can watch those three presentations, the one we're offering here, and then the two presentations on Udemy. And then once you have got that, working with me to actually set up a highly personalized money management system for you, it's a game changer. And if you look at my Google reviews, you'll see that has been the case for all of the clients who've gone through my program. Because, why try to figure this out yourself? I always think you can generate more wealth by what's called financial cloning, learning from others who have proven strategies and success, because trial and error is, like you say, going to create some costly mistakes possibly.
Yeah, and why remake the wheel if you can already see that it's working?
Yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
Same thing. She's got the mastery. Let's rinse and repeat so that we can also reap, right?
Absolutely. I love that. Rinse, repeat, reap. And that's exactly what you can do with your personal finances. And that's my goal, is to help provide that transformation. It really pains me to see people suffering financial stress. But I have to say, we have to own it too, right? Like, earning is not going to solve your
No.
financial problems. Okay. As you said earlier, you have people that might be making high income, but they spend all their income. So they're living paycheck to paycheck, just like, maybe someone working in retail. So really, implementing some basic practices, rewriting your money story, can change your life for the better. Because why are we earning money to begin? So that we can live a life that we desire. And if that's not your story now, we can make it your story going forward.
I love it. Amazing. Let it be an incredible story, and definitely want to reach out and work with Tanya, the founder of FinSmart. And last but not least, I always ask for your favorite book recommendation and why. So tell us about it.
Thanks, Heather. It's been great chatting with you today. I have so many books I could be recommending. I'm kind of like you, I'm a bit of a bookworm, but I wanted to share, a current title. It's by a Canadian author. As a proud Canadian, I'm all about the Canadian content. And the book is called Everything But Money: The Hidden Barriers Between You and Financial Freedom. And this is written by Jessica Morehouse, and she is based out of Toronto. And she's
Love
just
it.
launched this book as of January 1st. And it really helps you go deep into your own money story. And she uses her own life as, kind of the example, the case study for her book. But it gives you practical exercises and questions that you can do that deep dive. And, she's just a lovely human. She's put out a ton of free content on the internet about personal finance. So I always encourage people to follow her. She, like me, is an accredited financial counselor of Canada. And it's just a great book. If you feel that you've experienced some money trauma, if you feel that, you have some deeper issues that you want to kind of work on and reflect, this is a great book to read, and you're supporting a Canadian author.
I love it. And local, because it's just less about an hour for me. So I love that. Ontario, even. I love it. Amazing. Well, first of all, I think you're so good that I have to tell you, you need to have your own show. You have such a zone of genius that I think it would be a shame not to keep sharing and sharing. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm so grateful for you and what you do, and changing generational trauma with money for women so we can thrive and create generational wealth. So thank you
We are
so
worth
much.
it. We are worth it. You are worth it. Knowledge is power, and community is also great. So thank you for creating the Own It Empire community and for having me today, Heather. It's just been a pleasure. You're a light.
Ah, thank you. It's absolutely my honor. And thank you so much. And thank you to our listeners. So make sure you click on that link. We are going to have everything you need in the description below so that you can reach out to Tanya, get some counseling if that's what you desire, grab her freebies, check out her course on Udemy. Maybe she'll have a podcast in the future and a book. I think there's lots in her future. And there's so much that we don't know. We don't know. And
Yeah.
you'll only find out you didn't know it once you learn it. And that's going to require you to increase your intelligence. So let's all get financially smart and get fin smart. So thank you for tuning in for today. And remember, stay happy, healthy, wealthy, expect magic and miracles. And what is the best that can happen? We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.